Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to the 2009-10 hockey season replay. I'm going to move the left defenseman for Carolina just a little bit, so the scoreboard's a little bit clearer. Block 32 takes us to the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, for an Eastern Conference matchup in Strat-O-Matic Hockey between the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Islanders. The Hurricanes are very much in the thick of the playoff picture in the Southeast Division. They're looking at a record of 33 wins, 22 losses, and 2 overtime losses, good for 68 points, and third place in the Southeast Division, 1 point behind the Thrashers. That division is basically Washington's to lose at this point. As for the Islanders, they're in second place in the Atlantic Division with a record of 28 wins, 20 losses, and 9 overtime losses. That is good for 65 points, 12 points behind the division-leading Penguins. This is the second time we've had the Islanders on the board, and the third time we've had the Hurricanes on the board. So, fans are filing into Nassau Coliseum, so I'll go ahead and lock my iPad down for the time being, put the play chart where it goes, and we will jump into this one. We'll jump straight in. Face-offs here are even. And a 19 will be a visitor win. That'll be a win for Whitney, and Carolina will have it to start this game. Looking at opponent defense 1, Okposo, that'll be an inside shot for Jokinen. Right defenseman Gervais, he will try to intimidate. He will take the puck away, but a possible penalty on Gervais. 1-15, no penalty. That's a 10, no penalty. Gervais makes a clean takeaway, and we'll keep on with it. Passing D, that'll be an outside shot for Tavares, which he's going to let go. That's a 5. Save made, and they'll give that over to Stahl. Stahl for Carolina. Opponent defense 8. Tavares will take the puck away with an outside shot only. He's going to let that go from the point. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Defensive right D of defense rating 3 or more. Gleason is a 3. He will have that for Carolina. Inside shot for anybody. Opponent can try to intimidate. They will give that to Jokinen. Molson will try to intimidate. Molson will take the puck away, but a possible penalty. 1-15, no penalty. That's a 1. Molson with another clean takeaway. Inside shot for anybody. They'll give that to Tavares. Stahl will not try to intimidate. Tavares will take the inside shot. That's a 12. He'll lose that over to Whitney. Whitney will get a block on that. Whitney with it for Carolina. Opponent defense 6. Okposo, that'll be an outside shot for Stahl. Stahl will try to make a pass. Passing J. That'll be an inside shot for Jokinen on a great pass by Stahl. Jokinen lets that go. A 5. That's a goalie rating on Biron. 5 and 9 through 11 are bad. That's a 6. Save made by Biron. He'll give that over to Straight. Straight with it for the Islanders. Opponent defense 4. Gleason will take the puck away with an outside shot. Gleason is going to try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck over to Molson. Molson for the Islanders. Opponent defense 11. Jokinen. That's going to be a penalty on Jokinen. He'll go off for tripping. 1, 2, 3, and a forwards line change before we see what kind of power play the Islanders are going to have. Hopefully you guys will enjoy a little bit of Friday night hockey here on the channel, as Philip Reynolds is first to join us here at the Nassau Coliseum, just in time for our first line change for an Islanders power play. I've already flipped over the 3 cards. We're looking at an 11 on the power play if the right wing is a 3 or more. On defense, he is not. So we'll start off with an outside shot for Straight. He's going to let that go from the point. And Philip Reynolds says, go Carolina. Must be a Hurricanes fan. Outside shot for Straight. 10. That'll be a save. Then an outside shot for the left wing. That'll be Bailey. That's a 9. Save made, that would go to the defensive right wing. And then an inside shot for Nielsen. Nielsen will let that go from the slot. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Defense, any player with a defense rating 4. Pitkanen is a 4. He'll have that for Carolina. Arena groans. Ugh. We'll take that face-off just out of the Carolina end. Face-offs remain even. 6. We'll go to the home right defenseman. That'll go over to Gervais, and we're off once again. Looking at opponent defense 1. Pitkanen will take that away with an inside shot. Gervais will try to intimidate. Gervais will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. Gervais with it for the Islanders. Opponent defense 6. Pitkanen will take that right back. He'll have an outside shot. He's going to try to make a pass with it. That'll be an inside shot for Ruutu. Ruutu lets that go from the slot. That's a 3. That would be a goalie rating if the Hurricanes were on the power play, but since they're not, Biron will freeze that. He will get the face-off. And Columbus has won 7-3 out of the first 10 games. That on preseason already? Seems a little early for hockey preseason, but I could be wrong on that. Anyway, face-offs are even. Once again, we're taking that one to the right of Biron. That's a 4. That'll be a home win. That'll go over to Camo, and we're off once again. Outside shot only for anybody. He'll give that to Gervais from the point. Gervais will let that go. That's a 7. He'll lose that over to Gleason. Gleason for Carolina. Passing E will be an outside shot for Sutter. Sutter will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck over to Nielsen just in time for a defenseman line change. Nielsen with it for the Islanders. Played 7 regular season games. Must be working on a new replay project of your own. Opponent defense 10. Sutter will take the puck away with an outside shot only. He will let that go. That's a 5. Save made, and that'll go over to Bailey. Bailey with it for the Islanders. Passing F. That'll be an outside shot for Nielsen. Nielsen will try to make a pass. Passing J for Nielsen. That'll be an inside shot for Camo. He's going to let that one go from the slot. That's an 11. Save made by Ward over to Ruutu. Ruutu for the Islanders. Inside shot for anybody, or Ruutu for the Hurricanes, I should say. Inside shot for any player. Opponent can try to intimidate. They will give that to... they're going to give that to Potier. Meyer will try to... Actually, no, they're going to give that to Sutter. Nielsen will try to intimidate. That's a 1. Nielsen will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. Passing D for Nielsen. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot right back to Ruutu. Ruutu will try to make a pass with it. Lose the puck over to Camo. Camo for the Islanders. Lose the puck and a possible breakaway. Right defenseman if breakaway penetration rating 3 or more. It is a 2. Meyer will have control of that as we get into a forwards line change. Come on, cards are sticking together tonight. Meyer with it now for the Islanders. Lose the puck. Outside shot only for the right wing. Kostopoulos with an outside shot. He's going to let that go. That's a 6. Save made and over to Park. Park with it for the Islanders. Possible breakaway. Right wing if the breakaway penetration rating 2 or more. Hunter's a 4. He's in on Ward alone. What can Hunter do with this breakaway chance? That's a 10. Save made by Ward. That'll go over to Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos for Carolina. Lose the puck. Inside shot for anybody. Opponent can try to intimidate. They will give that to Sim. Kostopoulos will not try to intimidate. That'll be an inside shot for Sim. That's a 10. That's a goalie rating on Ward. 6, 8, and 12 are bad numbers. That's a 9. Save made by Ward. They'll give that to Brindamore. Brindamore for Carolina. Opponent defense 5. Park will take the puck away with an outside shot. Park will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck right back to Brindamore. Brindamore again for Carolina. We'll lose that back to Park. They're going to start playing hot biscuit with the puck. Passing E. That'll be an outside shot for Sim. He will try to make a pass. That'll be an inside shot right back to Park. Park's going to let that go from the slot. That's a 9. Save made. That'll go over to Potier. Potier for Carolina. We'll lose the puck. Outside shot only for Sim. Sim's going to let that go. That's a 10. That's a goalie rating on Ward. That's a 7. That's a rebound chance. Defense, any player with a defense rating 3 or more. Potier is a 3. He'll have that for Carolina. Passing D. That'll be an outside shot for Brindamore. Brindamore is going to throw that one at the net. That's a 12. Save made. That'll go over to Sim. Sim for the Islanders. Lose the puck. Outside shot only for LaRose. He's going to let that one go. That's a 9. Save made. That'll go over to Hillen. His last chance of the period. He'll lose that over to Carson. There's the horn to end the first period. And yes, I forgot to adjust the scoreboard. But now we'll adjust it to the second period, as after 1, we are scoreless here at Nassau Coliseum. So now I can actually interact with chat a little bit. Is that a project? Is that Columbus project when you're starting in Red Ice, Philip? I know you've been really enjoying that one of late. And yes, I am going to try to get it. I do have a couple seasons for it since it was free. I may need to try to track down the dice at some point. But I do want to try to get that out at some point on the channel. I'll probably look into doing that during the advent of the Phoenix in December. AKA my yearly content explosion on the channel. You're using Red Ice Hockey. That's what I thought. I figured you were using that. Like I said, I know you've been enjoying Red Ice of late. And I take it that's a last season? I take it that's a project you're doing based on last season? Well, hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of 2009-10 Strat Hockey here as a bit of background noise while you're working on that. I'm just getting everything ready here at Nassau Coliseum as the Zamboni is going around cleaning up the ice, getting ready for the second period of this game. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Defensemen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Announcers hydrate break. And we are all set to start the second period of this game. Face-offs remain even. 8, that'll be a home right wing win. That'll be up to Okposo, and we're off and running to start the second period. Opponent defense 7. Whitney will take the puck away with an outside shot only. He'll let that go from the point. That's a 4. Oh boy, that's a goalie rating on Barone. That's a 6. Save made by Barone. A huge save. He'll give that over to Gervais. Passing E for Gervais. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot for Stahl. Stahl's going to throw that one at the net from the point. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Offense. Any player with an offense rating 3 or more. Stahl is a 4, so he's going to follow his own rebound to the net. That's a 7. That's a goalie rating on Barone. That's an 8. Another. That's actually a save made on a goalie rating. That'll go to any forward. He'll give that to Molson. Molson for the Islanders will lose that over to Jokinen. Jokinen will lose it right back to Molson. We're going to start playing hot biscuit again. Opponent defense 6. Outside shot for Tavares. Tavares is going to let that one go. That's a 7. Save made and up to Whitney. Whitney for the Hurricanes. Outside shot only for anybody. He will give that to Stahl. Stahl will take the shot. That's a 10. Save made by Barone. and that'll go over to Strait. Strait for the Islanders. Passing D, that'll be an inside shot for Tavares. Stahl will not try to intimidate. He's a B. They don't want to take a chance on a bad penalty. So Tavares will let that inside shot go. 7, he'll lose that right back to Stahl, funnily enough. Inside shot for anybody. Stahl will take that himself. Tavares will try to intimidate. That's a 12. Tavares will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. Passing E. That'll be an outside shot for Molson. Molson will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck over to Jokinen. Jokinen for Carolina. Losing the puck. Outside shot only for Molson. He'll let that go from the point. That's an 11. That'll be a save and over to Gleason. And right into a forwards line change. And that is Gleason with the puck for Carolina off the line change. Passing E. That'll be an outside shot for Sutter. Sutter will try to make a pass with it. He'll lose the puck over to Nielsen. Nielsen for the Islanders. Losing the puck. Outside shot only for Ruutu. Ruutu will let that go from the point after gaining the zone. 10 will be a save made by Barone. That'll go over to Gervais. Gervais with it, looking at passing F. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot for Ruutu. Ruutu will let that go from the point. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Defensive left defenseman. That'll be Straight with it for the Islanders. Lose the puck. Outside shot for any player. That will be... They'll give that to Sutter. Nielsen will try to intimidate. Nielsen will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. Nielsen for the Islanders. Inside shot for anybody. Opponent can try to intimidate. They will give that to Bailey. Ruutu will not try to intimidate. Bailey with an inside shot. With an inside shot. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Defensive center will have that. Sutter will have it, and just in time for a defensive line change. As Dave's Board Gaming now joins us here at the Nassau Coliseum. Just in time for a defensive line change, and then we'll be off with Sutter in control of the puck for Carolina. Passing D. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot for Camo. Camo will let that go from the point. That's a 9. Save made over to Potier. Potier for the Hurricanes. Opponent defense 3. That'll be an inside shot for Sutter. Left defenseman Meyer, he will try to intimidate. He will intimidate, but he'll take the puck away, but a possible penalty. Power play 16. 1 to 15 though, no penalty. That is a 16, which means we will have a penalty. 1, 2, 3. And 16 is checking 3 or less 4-rated defensive players. Yeah. We have no 4-rated defensive players, so that'll be no shots on the power play, but that will be a forwards line change, as we'll take that face-off just outside the Islanders' zone. We've got an exciting one here tonight, folks, as we are still scoreless here as we're getting into the later stages of the second period. And how is your evening going, Dave? I do apologize in advance for not interacting with chat more during these hockey streams. I only interact with chat during stoppages. I do see everything, though, so don't think I'm ignoring you guys. Face-offs remain... face-offs are +2 to Carolina. 9 will be a superior win. That'll go over to LaRose, and we're off once again. Passing D. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot for Sim. Sim will try to make a pass. He will lose the puck over to Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos looking at opponent defense 2. Sim will take the puck away with an outside shot. He's going to try to make a pass. Passing J. He'll lose the puck over to Brindamore. Brindamore will intercept that pass. Brindamore with it. Lose the puck. Possible breakaway. Center, if the breakaway penetration rating is 3 or more. It is not for Park, so Brindamore will still have that for Carolina. He'll make a great play. He'll lose the puck. Inside shot for anybody. They will give that to Sim. Kostopoulos will not try to intimidate on the inside shot by Sim. That's a 6. That's a goalie rating on Ward. 6, 8, and 12 are bad numbers. That is an 8. Score! John Sim will give the Islanders, at last, a 1-0 lead. Arena cheers. Yay! That'll be Sim from Park. And we'll flip over another split card to try to get an assist out of this one. Let's see, left wing was the one who scored. Park already has an assist. Right wing, that'll be from Hunter. So that'll be Sim from Park and Hunter. As the Islanders now have a 1-0 lead in what could turn into a very critical game for playoff positioning. Face-offs are +2 to Carolina as we come back to center ice. That's an 18. That'll be an inferior win over to Hillen, and we're off once again here late in the second period. Lose the puck, outside shot only for Carson. Carson will let that go from the point. That's a 6. Save made by Biron over to Hillen. Hillen for Carolina, or for New York. Opponent defense 9. Carson will take the puck away with an outside shot only. He's going to let that go from the point. That's a 4. That's a goalie rating on Biron. That's a 3. And that'll stay a lot of play and we'll get a face-off just outside the Islanders' end. And yes, indeed, somebody finally opened the scoring, and we are well into this. We are deep into the second period. There's not much time left in the period. Based on 4 cards left, there's maybe 5 minutes left in the period if I had to approximate that based on the actual clock. Anywho, coming back to outside the Islanders' zone, faceoffs remain +2 to Carolina. A 9 will be a superior win all day long. That'll go over to LaRose, and we're off once again for Carolina. Lose the puck, outside shot only for Park. Park will let that go from the point. That's a 9. That's a goalie rating on Ward. That's an 11. Save made by Ward. That'll go over to Potier. Potier for Carolina. Passing F. He'll lose the puck, outside shot for Hunter. Hunter will try to make a pass with it. That'll be an inside shot for Park. Park will let that go from the slot. Snake Eyes. Save made over to Carson. Carson will look at opponent defense 5. That's an outside shot for Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos will try to make a pass. Passing L. He'll lose the puck over to Park. Last play of the period for the Islanders. Possible breakaway. Uh-oh. Left wing. That's Sim. He's in alone on Ward. What can Sim do with this breakaway chance? That's a 4. Save made over to any player, and there's the horn to end the second period of this game. The Islanders get the lone goal of the period from Sim, but they now hold a 1-0 lead as we get set for the third period. Wrong adjustment. We get set now for the third period of this game. And we've got a good one here between based on the standings right now, what would be 2 playoff-bound teams. They wouldn't match up in the playoffs. Currently, I think the Hurricanes, let me look here, now I'm curious. If the playoffs started today, the Hurricanes would be the 4 seed, the Islanders would be the 6. So they definitely wouldn't run into each other right away in the playoffs. But we'd probably have a pair of dark horses right here. The classic horn sounds again. Yes, Dave, I also know that it is an absolutely terrible goal horn. No need to criticize that about this replay. I probably need to find a better stock goal horn sound, something I can actually use. Maybe I'll just buy like an air. Well, I was going to say maybe I'll buy an air horn and be done with it, but I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure my neighbors want me to start using an air horn indoors, because I do live in an apartment complex. So I don't think an air horn in the evening would go over too well. So I definitely need to find something. Not criticizing the horn. Well, much appreciated. I'm just getting everything ready for the third period of this game. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10. Forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Defensemen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And while I'm shuffling up the split deck, I will mention that Block 33 will be Saturday morning hockey this week, as Mystical Munchies is going to be the entree, and it's going to be dinner this week. So as such, Mystical Munchies will be an afternoon upload, which means you guys will get Saturday morning hockey bright and early on Saturday morning. Probably about, I think, 8:30 at the latest. 8:30 Central Time at the latest is when I'm going to be looking to go live with Saturday morning hockey. That'll be Block 33 and Inside the Crease Hockey. We will be at the XL Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota, actually, as the Phoenix Coyotes will be playing the Minnesota Wild. I actually did have a chance to go up to the XL Energy Center and watch the Wild play. This was when I was still in high school, so this was over 20 years ago. I'm sure it's changed just a wee teeny tiny little bit since then. And it makes me feel so old because I still can't believe that I'm actually able to articulate this, but I'm going to be 40 as of this coming Wednesday. So yeah, feeling just a little bit old. Anywho, age rants aside, quick announcer hydrate break. Okay. Now we're all set to get into the third period of this game, as the Islanders come in with a 1-0 lead. Face-offs are even right now. 4 will be a home win. That'll go over to Okposo, and we're off to start the third period. Passing F for Okposo. That'll be an outside shot from Molson. Molson will try to make a pass, and that'll be an inside shot right back to Okposo. He will take it. 8 is a rebound chance. Defensive right wing, that will be Jokinen with it for Carolina, stopping the rebound. Lose the puck, outside shot only for Gervais. Gervais will let that go from the point. That's a 12. That would be a goalie rating if the Islanders were on the power play, but we'll instead get a whistle as Ward's going to cover that one up, and we'll get a face-off to the right of Ward. Face-offs remain even. 3 will be a home win. That'll go over to Molson, and we're off once again. He will lose that over to Jokinen. Jokinen with it now. Opponent defense 9. Molson will take the puck away with an outside shot only. He will let that go from the point. That's a 7. Save made and up to Stahl. Stahl for Carolina. Passing E. That will be an outside shot for Whitney. Whitney will try to make a pass. Passing K will be an inside shot for Jokinen. Jokinen will let that go from the slot. That's a 4. Save made and back up to Okposo. Okposo for the Islanders. Opponent defense 3. That'll be an inside shot for Tavares. Pitkanen will try to intimidate. He will intimidate, take the puck away, but a possible penalty. On a C, he's a 1-12 for a penalty. That's a 17, so we are going to have a penalty. 1, 2, 3. But we also have a power play 16, which checks for all 4-rated defensive players, which we do not have, so there will be no shots on the power play. We'll bring that face-off just out of the Carolina zone. Face-offs remain even. 19 will be a visitor win. That'll be over to Whitney, and we're off for Carolina. He'll lose that over to Okposo just in time for a forwards line change. Comeau with it now for the Islanders. Opponent defense 1. That'll be an inside shot for Nielsen. Pitkanen will try to intimidate. Pitkanen will fail to take the puck away. Possible penalty. We'll resolve the shot first. We'll resolve the shot, and then we'll check for the penalty on Pitkanen. That's a 7. Save made and over to the right defenseman. That's over to Gleason. But we'll check for a penalty first. He's a C, so 1 to 12, no penalty. That's a 4. Gleason will have it and will play on. Lose the puck, possible breakaway. Uh-oh. Left wing, that's Bailey. He's in alone. He's in alone on Ward. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Defensive right wing if defense rating 3 or more. He's a 2, so Bailey will follow his own rebound to the net. That's a 7. He'll lose that over to Samsonov. Samsonov will get a block on it, and he'll stop that for Carolina. Passing D will be an outside shot for Ruutu. Ruutu will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck over to Nielsen. Nielsen for the Islanders. Opponent defense 4. He'll take the puck away with an inside shot. Gervais will try to intimidate. Gervais will intimidate. He'll take the puck away for the Islanders. Lose the puck. Outside shot only for the left wing over to Samsonov, who will let that go from the point. That's a 5. Save made and over to Gervais just in time for a defenseman line change. Hillen with it for the Islanders now. Opponent defense 6. Carson, that'll be an outside shot for Bailey. Bailey will try to make a pass. Passing J, that'll be an inside shot for Nielsen. Nielsen will let that go. That's a 12. Save made and over to Carson. Carson for Carolina. Lose the puck, outside shot only for Bailey. Bailey from the point. That's a 10. That's a goalie rating on Ward. That's a 2. And if that was an inside shot, so Ward will make a great save. He'll glove that one and we'll get a face-off. We'll take that one to the left of Ward. Face-offs right now remain even. A 10. That'll be a home right wing. That'll go up to Camo, and we're off once again. Inside shot for anybody. Opponent can try to intimidate. They'll give that to Bailey. Ruutu has got to try... Ruutu's got to try to intimidate, even though he's a 1 to 9 on intimidate. 14, he will not intimidate. Bailey will let that go. 7, he'll lose that over to Samsonov. Must have been rattled just enough by Ruutu. Samsonov with it for Carolina. Lose the puck, inside shot. That'll go right back to Bailey. Ruutu will try to intimidate again. This time he'll succeed on intimidation. He'll take the puck away. Passing E will be an outside shot for Sutter. Sutter's going to try to make a pass. That'll be an inside shot right back to Ruutu. He'll let that go from the slot. That's a 5. Save made and over to Camo. We've got a forwards line change coming. That is Hunter with the puck now for the Islanders. Opponent defense 9. LaRose will take the puck away with an outside shot only. He will let that go. That's a 7. Save made and right back to Hunter. Hunter for the Islanders. Passing F. That'll be an outside shot for Sim. Sim will try to make a pass. That'll be an inside shot for anybody. He will give that to... He's going to give that right back to Hunter, actually. That's an 11. Save made by Ward and over to Carson. Carson for the Hurricanes. Opponent defense 7. Hillen will take the puck away with an outside shot only. He's going to let that go from the point. 7. He'll lose that over to Brindamore. Brindamore gets in front of that one. Brindamore for Carolina. Passing F. That'll be, he'll lose the puck. Outside shot for Sim. Sim is going to try to make a pass. Passing L. He'll lose the puck. Right back to Brindamore. Brindamore for Carolina. Opponent defense 11. Park. Ooh, that's a penalty on Park. He'll go off for tripping. 1, 2, 3. We'll probably see the net come empty for Carolina, pending the result of this power play. 5. If the right defenseman is a 3 or more, he is a 2. So we'll start off with an outside shot for Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos will let that go from the point. That's a 2. That's a goal on a 1 to 7. And no! Biron makes a great save. He gets in front of that one. He gets a piece of it just enough to redirect it into the corner. Arena cheers. Yay! And that'll be then an outside shot for Brindamore. Brindamore will let that go from the point as well. That's a 3. That's a goalie rating on Barone. That's a 10. Score! Rod Brindamore ties the game for the Hurricanes here late in the third period. Arena barks. Blah. That'll be Brindamore. We'll flip over a couple cards to get assists. Let's see. Brindamore scored. Right wing. Left wing. That'll be Brindamore from LaRose. And Kostop, actually, yeah, wait. Carson. Late in the third period, on a huge power play, Carolina manages to tie this game at 1. And we could be headed for bonus hockey tonight. Let's see what happens on the face-off, on these last two plays. +2 to Carolina on face-offs. 16. That'll go over to the inferior right wing. That's over to Hunter, and we're off once again. Passing D. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot for Brindamore. Brindamore will throw that one at the net. That's a 12. Save made and over to Park. Last chance for the Islanders. Lose the puck. Outside shot for anybody. They will give that to... They'll give that to Brindamore. Park will try to intimidate. If this intimidation works, we will have overtime for sure. 1 to 15. That he takes the puck away. Possible penalty, though. We'll see if the Hurricanes start overtime on the power play. 14. No, they do not. And brrr, there's the horn, and we have bonus hockey tonight, as we are tied at 1. Heading into overtime. Wow. You wouldn't expect anything else out of two playoff-bound teams, though. Well, as of now, they're two playoff-bound teams. This could be a candidate for Strat Game of the Year. But we'll see what happens with that when we get toward the end of the regular season. Actually, when we get to the end of the replay, because I do consider playoff games as well for Game of the Year. In fact, in my 1985 replay, I did end up picking two. I actually had 2 games of the year. We had an audience pick. We had an audience pick for Game 3 of the NLDS in 1985 between the Dodgers and the Expos. My pick was Game 7 of the ALCS between the Detroit Tigers and the California Angels. So we'll probably have a Strat Game of the Year and an Inside the Crease Game of the Year, is what I'm expecting with the multiple systems. Hopefully this one won't last too long in overtime, though, because we still have to run final score hockey on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Defensemen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. An announcer hydrate break coming up. And the Zambonis are all done. We are set for overtime in this one. Face-offs start even in overtime. A 20 will be a visitor win. That'll be over to Jokinen, and we're off to start overtime. Passing F will be an outside shot for Whitney. Whitney will try to make a pass with that. He'll lose the puck over to Okposo. Okposo for the Islanders. Passing D will be an inside shot for the left wing. Jokinen will try to intimidate. That's an 8. Jokinen will take the puck away. Jokinen for Carolina. Opponent defense 6. That'll be an outside shot for Whitney. Whitney will try to make a pass. Inside shot right back to Jokinen. Jokinen will let that go at the net. That's a 9. That's a goalie rating on Barone. And that's an 8. Save made by Barone. That'll go over to Molson. Molson for the Islanders. Opponent defense 7. Jokinen will take the puck away with an outside shot only. He will let this one go from the point. That's a 9. Save made over to Strait. Strait will lose it over to Gleason. Gleason for Carolina. Opponent defense 10. That's a penalty. That is a huge penalty. That's, in fact, the power play is how we got into this in the first place. 1, 2, 3. Power play is going to be a 1. If the left defenseman is a 2 or more on defense, he is. We're still going to see Carolina being busy. We'll start off with an outside shot for Stahl. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Offensive center, offense rating 3 or more. Stahl is a 4. He'll follow his own rebound to the net. That's a 7. That's a goalie rating on Barone. That's a 4. That would be a face-off, so we'll call that a save. Outside shot for the right wing. That's over to Jokinen next. That's a 7. They'll lose that over to the defensive left D. Outside shot for anybody. They'll go back to Stahl with that one. Here comes Eric Stahl. That's a 12. On the power play, that's a goal on a 1-3. And score! Eric Stahl gets the win for the Hurricanes, 2-1. Arena barfs. Double barfs. Blah, blah. Flip over a card, get a couple of assists. That'll be from Whitney. And Jokinen. Jokinen. Well, I said I wanted a short overtime, and ask, and ye shall receive, as the old saying goes. So the Hurricanes pick up this win very quickly in overtime by a final score of 2-1. But of course, you guys know that we are not done yet, because we still have to ask our friends at Downey Games via Final Score Hockey how the rest of the NHL fared here in Block 32. So bear with me while I do my cleanup as usual, and then we will turn our attention to Final Score Hockey to see how the rest of the NHL fared. And yes, indeed, another win for the Hurricanes. Carolina has been, from what I've been understanding of the standings, Carolina has actually been very much overperforming in this replay. I think they only had like 80-something points throughout the entire season. And once my iPad decides it wants to cooperate with me, I'll tick over to the standings and tell you that Carolina now has 70 points on the replay so far. So the Hurricanes are very much overperforming what they scored, or how they did in real life in this replay. And as of now, the Hurricanes would still be the 4 seed, which means they'd be guaranteed a home game in the quarterfinals in the playoffs. Because I'm doing a somewhat modified... Oh, wait a second. I just realized I still have the line changes in the deck. Silly me. Let me see about fishing those out. Got them. So just to explain the playoff standings for those of you who might be tuning in for the first time and aren't familiar with how I'm doing the playoffs. The conference quarterfinals are going to be a one-game elimination. So we could see even a team like the Washington Capitals get bounced out in one game, because anything can happen in a one-game elimination. Then the conference semis will be a best of 3. Then the conference finals will be a best of 5, and the Stanley Cup finals will be best of 7. That way it ramps up to a best of 7, but it keeps it, that way the things ramp up, the tension ramps up to a best of 7, but it makes the playoffs manageable enough for me that I'm not at this project for the rest of the year. Because I got a lot of other games I want to put on the channel the rest of this year. And not just in December either. So I'll also, as usual, just like I did when I finished my 1985 replay earlier this year, I'm going to take a 2-week break from my non-Sunday and Wednesday streams. We'll also see Mystical Munchies as scheduled on the channel, but you're not going to see a lot of the essentially off-night streams, and I'll talk more about how that works, about how the schedule is going to work when we get toward the end of this replay. But we've definitely got a lot of hockey in front of us yet in this replay. Although, of course, my attention is also already turning to what the next season is going to be, because the next season is winter 2026, and I can't believe that's already coming up. And that season will be an executive pick season, where it translates to I pick the season. So, Dave, I don't know if you have gone back and watched some of the other videos where I explain the replay structure, but that's the way I'm doing replays on the channel. Winter season is an executive pick, meaning I pick the season. The summer season is the winter project, because I also, in addition to hockey and baseball seasons, I'm also warmed to doing football season replays, and boxing tournaments on the channel. So the winter project will be an executive pick, meaning I pick the project, and then the summer project is where the audience helps via a selection show where the audience gets to vote on the seasons to determine the number of dice that season will roll on the selection show, or on the reveal show. You can go back and watch the Summer 2025 Project Selection Show if you want to know more about how that works. Coming back to business, though, now we need to see how the rest of the NHL fared in Block 32. We are on February 6th as the Hurricanes get a big overtime win over the Islanders. But let's see how the rest of the NHL fared. First up, let's start off on February 6th with the Panthers at the Thrashers. Low-scoring game. Florida, G12 is 1. Atlanta, I-13 is also 1. Pressure situations all around. Florida's a D. Actually, both teams are E's under pressure. A 13 won't help Florida. Neither will a 56 for Atlanta, which means we are going to overtime, and the Thrashers have a chance to win first. Which an I-54 will get done for Atlanta. They will take that one 2-1 in overtime. Canucks and the Bruins. Vancouver, L16 is 2. Boston, J54, that is 4. Boston will get a 4-2 victory. Buffalo at Columbus. Sabres, K43 is 3. Blue Jackets, I-21 is 2. Pressure situation for Columbus. Blue Jackets are an E under pressure. And E22 won't do anything for Columbus. Buffalo will take that one 3-2. Oilers at the Avalanche. Edmonton, F22 is 1. Colorado, G11 is 0. Pressure situation for the Avalanche, Colorado is a C under pressure. C42 won't do anything for Colorado, though Edmonton will take a 1-0 win. Phoenix at Dallas. Coyotes, G41 is 2, and that's a true 2. Dallas, M42, that is 4. Dallas will double up Phoenix 4-2. Wings and the Kings. Detroit, F32 is 2. Los Angeles, M42 is 4. And the Kings will double up the Wings 4-2. Flyers and the Wild. Philadelphia, I-22 is 2. Minnesota, J-22 is also 2. Pressure situations all around. Philadelphia is a D. Minnesota's an E. D41 won't help the Flyers. Neither will an E53 help Minnesota, which means that game is going to overtime. And Minnesota has a chance to win first. Which a J56 will get that done all day long for Minnesota. They will win that one 3-2 in overtime. Penguins and the Canadiens. Pittsburgh, J25 is 2. Montreal, H34, that is 3. That's a pressure situation for Pittsburgh. The Penguins are a C under pressure. A C31 won't help Pittsburgh, though. Montreal will get a 3-2 victory out of that. San Jose at Nashville. Sharks, I-14 is 1. Nashville, K51, that is 3. Nashville will take a 3-1 win from San Jose. Devils and the Rangers. New Jersey, G35 is 2. New York, K56, that is 4. Rangers will double up the Devils 4-2. Blackhawks in St. Louis trying not to sing the blues. Chicago, L35 is 3. St. Louis, J15 is a big game for the Blues. Uh-oh. $32 is +1 column. So St. Louis is rolling on column K now. 34 is 3, which means we've got pressure situations all around. Chicago's a B. St. Louis is a D. And their rolls help neither team, which means that one's going to overtime. St. Louis with a chance to win first. Blues with a J16 won't get it done. Neither will an L32 for the Blackhawks, which means that one's going to a shootout. Both teams are C's in the shootout, round 1. Both teams will score in the shootout, round 2. Both teams will score again, round 3. We're looking for an unanswered goal, which we won't get here, round 4. Hopefully we're not going to have another 10-round shootout. We've had that happen in this replay before. We are not going to have a 10-round shootout because Chicago will score, St. Louis will not, and the Blackhawks will avoid singing the blues 4-3. Lightning and the Flames and the Lightning rematch of the 2003-04 Stanley Cup Final. Calgary, F15, that is 1. Tampa Bay, J41, that is 3. Tampa Bay will take a 3-1 victory. Ottawa at Toronto. Senators, H66 is 5. Maple Leafs, G33, that is 2. Senators will beat the Maple Leafs 5-2. Bruins and the Canadiens, classic 70s NHL matchup. Boston, G64, that is 4. Montreal, K24, that is 2. Boston will double up Montreal, 4-2. Penguins at the Capitals. Pittsburgh, H21, that is 2. Capitals, O15, that is also 2. Pressure situations all around. Penguins are a C. Capitals are an A. C61 might help Pittsburgh. A53, Washington will get a huge save out of that one. And now Washington looking for the winner. And A32 won't help them get that, though. That one's going to overtime. Capitals with a chance to win first. And an 066 will get it done for Washington all day long. They will take a 3-2 victory. Kings at the Ducks. Los Angeles, I-41 is 3. Anaheim, L-53, that is 4. That's a pressure situation for the Kings. They are a C under pressure. C-35 won't do anything for Los Angeles. Anaheim will take that one, 4-3. Blues and the Avalanche. St. Louis, F-16 is 1. Avalanche, L-34, that is 3. Colorado gets a 3-1 victory. Devils and the Flyers. Devils, F-61, that is 3. Flyers, M54, that is 4. Pressure situation for New Jersey. The Devils are a C under pressure. A C51 won't help New Jersey, though. Philadelphia will get that win 4-3. Oilers and the Coyotes are both E's. Wow, high-scoring game. Edmonton rolls a 63, that is 3. Phoenix rolls a 66, that is 4. Pressure situation for Edmonton, they're an E under pressure. A 34 won't do anything for the Oilers. The Coyotes will take that one, 4-3. We are on February 8th, by the way. San Jose at Toronto. Sharks, L32, that is 3. Maple Leafs, I-43, that is also 3. Pressure situations all around. San Jose is a B. Toronto is an E. A B63 will let San Jose score. Toronto with an E15 can't stop them. The Sharks will take the lead. Toronto now needs to find the equalizer with their net empty. An E64 might get it done for Toronto. A B43 won't stop them, so Toronto will tie this game, and we're headed to overtime, where the Maple Leafs have a chance to win first. Toronto with an I-52 that will get it done for Toronto. They'll take that one from San Jose, 5-4. On to February 9th. Boston at Buffalo. Bruins, F-22 is 1. Sabres, M-52, that is 4. Buffalo with a 4-1 victory. Florida at Carolina. I was about to say Chicago, but Florida's at Carolina. Panthers, G44, that is 3. Hurricanes, I-55, that is 4. Pressure situation for Florida. The Panthers are an E under pressure. An E34 won't help Florida. Carolina will take that one 4-3. Now we've got Stars and the Blackhawks. Dallas, G51 is 3. Blackhawks, L32 is also 3. Pressure situations all around. Stars are an E. Blackhawks are a B. An E66 will have a chance to score for Dallas. A B54. Chicago will make a huge save. And now the Blackhawks are looking for the equalizer with their net empty. But a 13 won't help them. That game is going to overtime. Chicago with a chance to win first. Which an L23 won't do. Neither will an E11 for Dallas. That one is headed for a shootout. Both teams are Ds in the shootout. Round 1. Neither team will score. Round 2. Chicago will score. Dallas will not. Round 3. If Dallas doesn't score here, it's over. Dallas will score, but so will Chicago. The Blackhawks will get that one. 4-3 in the shootout. Predators and the Islanders. Nashville, G14 is 1. Islanders, J31, that is 2. Pressure situation for Nashville. The Predators are a C under pressure. Which a C52 won't do anything for Nashville. The Islanders will take that one 2-1. Flames and the Senators. Calgary, E23 is 1. Senators, J22, that is 2. Pressure situation for Calgary. The Flames are a D under pressure. A D24 won't help Calgary, though. Ottawa will get a 2-1 victory. Wings and the Blues. Detroit, H42 is 3. St. Louis, J35 is also 3. Pressure situations all around. Red Wings are a C. Blues are a D. A C56 for Detroit gives them a chance to score. D14, St. Louis can't stop them. Detroit will take a 4-3 lead. Now St. Louis needs the equalizer with their net empty. A D56 will just barely miss, so the Red Wings will escape with a 4-3 victory. Last up, Canucks and the Lightning. Vancouver, L14 is 2. Tampa Bay, J12 is 1. Pressure situation for Tampa Bay. The Lightning are an E under pressure. An E23 won't help Tampa Bay. Vancouver will get a 2-1 win. That is your final score hockey from Downey Games. If your team won tonight, congratulations. If they didn't, there's always tomorrow. I'm expecting to have 2 blocks on the replay tomorrow, but don't hold me to that. Tomorrow morning, we'll be at the Xcel Energy Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, back to Inside the Crease hockey, as the Phoenix Coyotes will be visiting the Minnesota Wild. After that, Saturday afternoon, Mystical Munchies will continue out of the recipes from the World of H.P. Lovecraft cookbook as we make the entree, Sonia's Magical Spaghetti. Sunday morning, we will be continuing the 2025 Summer of Lovecraft as we play Arkham Horror against Yog-Sothoth. We are up 1-0 in the Summer of Lovecraft. Wednesday, in honor of H.P. Lovecraft's birthday, we will be playing Call of Cthulhu by Chaosium. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone. The Carolina Hurricanes got the last 2 goals of the game, including the overtime winner from Eric Stahl, as they take this game 2-1 over the Islanders. Once again, take care, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning.